Hello 9th class, this is Sukit. I'm back with our lesson is the natural reliefs of the earth. In our previous slide session, we have been discussing about the relief features, the reliefs, common features of the earth. So earth commonly have four relief features. Earth commonly have four relief features that are lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and finally biosphere. So about all these we have studied in an earlier live session. In our earlier live. So what about what is mean by lithosphere? Even you can comment down while the class is going on. You can comment down in the comment box section. Okay. So what does mean by lithosphere? What is mean by litho and what is mean by sphere? And from which word, from which language this lithosphere is originated from? Who is going to comment first? Okay, so litho means stone or rock. Litho means stone or rock, and sphere means sphaera, which means a round one. And lithosphere is a word originated from Greek language, and litho means stone or rock. So on the earth that we are going to, it completely comprises, this sphere is going to comprises with the stones and rocks. And later we have seen about hydrosphere. Hydrosphere, Huder and Sphaera. Huder plus Sphaera. The word combination Huder plus Sphaera becomes hydrosphere. Huder means water, and in that hydrosphere that we are going to learn about lakes, rivers, oceans, rainwater. Give me a moment. With this I started this. Sorry kids. So, and later we have seen about atmosphere. Atmos means the water vapor which is present in the air is called as atmos, and sphaera. Sphaera means the sphere which is around in a shape. Sphaera. And in atmosphere we are going to study about the gaseous band, all the gases which are present in the air, like nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, helium, whatnot. Okay. And the last feature is about biosphere. Biosphere. Bios means life. What is meant by bios? Bios means life, and sphere means so globe. And without life, there will be no meaning for other three realms that are lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. So all the four realms, litho, hydro, atmos, and bio, all the three spheres, all the three realms, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere, are completely helpful and make possible the life existed in our earth, and the life is also interconnected with the other three realms. So that's why these four realms are completely interconnected, with one another, and also we have studied about the landforms. Okay, we have studied about the landforms. How many your answers? What is mean by landform? About how many kinds of landforms does we have? So we have three kinds of landforms. Very good, Nigama. Good afternoon. So just you people try to answer my questions in the comment box section. Okay, able to read all the comments. So while I am asking, you just comment in the comment box or else comment in the live chat also, no problem. So landforms. In the previous slide, we have been discussing about landforms. How many kinds of landforms does we have? So we have three types of landforms. What are those three types of landforms? First order landforms, second order landforms, and third order landforms. Which type of a landforms comes under the first order landforms? Which type of a landforms comes under this first order landforms? Who's going to answer my question? The first order landforms are continents and oceans. Continents and oceans. First order landforms. The primary order landforms are continents and oceans. Okay. And second order landforms. What are called second order landforms? Nikita, Nigama, Nishit, can anyone answer the question? What are called second order landforms? So second order landforms are mountains, plains, plateaus, hills, and some of the natural landforms which we have comes under second order landforms. And which landforms comes under third order landforms? So here we have a special feature for the third order landform. A special feature for that third order landform is the landform which is shaped by two things, that are the work done by wind and water. So first two order landforms, first order and second order landform, is completely by the internal process. So internal process. So there is no external processes going on by any other materials, by any other mediators. Okay, and here the work which is going to be done by wind and water is shaping the landforms. Then this landform is known as what? External process. So these two are the internal process and this is the external process. Just give me a second. Hello Sunita, so you can answer now. You can answer questions while watching the live. And yesterday we have started discussing about the shaping of continents and the positions of the continents seem fixed in the due course time. They seems to be fixed in the due course time by a theory which is called, we have learned in first lesson, that continental drift theory. Who was propounded the continental drift theory? That scientist name. And other viewers please. So continental drift theory, which is propounded by Alfred Wegener, a German geophysicist come meteorologist. He was propounded a supercontinent, and in the first lesson itself we have learned about the internal structure of the earth. So the earth has three layers: crust, core, mantle. Crust, mantle, core. Core have again two other layers, outer core and inner core. So mantle is always in a hot molten boiling state, and which is the mantle's upper layer, the whole mantle's upper layer is pliable in manner which can crust fly on it, which can crust float on it, So crust, where we are living at on the crust itself. Okay, where we are living at on the crust itself. So when crust is floating, and we are also has to float along with the crust. So how can it possible? So that we have a clear understanding by this jigsaw puzzle. All the continents from the supercontinent Pangea, when they have pulled away, and when they have moved apart each other, so then they will started moving to the present position, and they may have been fixed in a fixed time. So how they have been moved? So all the continents, it is like it's a continent, and it has another rock base. My hand is another rock base. So these kind of a rock every continent has, and these rock bases, due to the mantle's upper layer pliable manner, these rock bases are moving gradually, very gradually. So we are unable to see that movements too. So those are moving very gradually. Okay, and that are known as what? Plates. That massive rock basement, which has the continents are upon, and continents are floating, continents are riding. These are rock base. These massive rock base are called as plates. And the movement of these plates. So how many plates does we have? If you see, we have some of the major plates that are African plate, North American plate, South American plate, Indo-Australian plate, Antarctic plate, okay, Antarctic plate, Eurasian plate, Pacific plate, some of the Pacific plates, okay, and Arabian plates, Nazca and Arabian plates. So we have different kinds of plates that we are having. So all these plates are completely being pushed and pulled away, pulled away from one to another. So how this was done? This is going to be done by the mantle's pliable manner, and the crust is floating upon that mantle, and that the continents are riding on that massive rock bases, and moving and fixed in a present positions. And this is called as plate tectonics theory. The movement of plates. We need to know about tectonics. What is meant by this tectonic? Tectonic is nothing but tecton is a Greek word. Tectonic is originated from a Greek word which means carpenter or builder. And even tecton in Sanskrit, it is known as takshan. In Sanskrit, tecton is known as takshan. Even it means carpenter. It means carpenter. Tecton means carpenter. And later we have seen about the sea floor spreading. So the mantle is completely shoots up, the ridges shoots upwards from the ridges. Then the magma, which is completely came up. So then that when it becomes cooler, then it is turning into the harder state, and later when the fissures again shoots to the topmost layer, when the fissures again shoots up to the topmost layer, so first these first created floor is going to be stay still, and the newly arrived magma lava is going to be spread. And when that newly arrived magma, when magma newly arrived sea floor, this is the sea floor, it is completely pulling away the sea floor, then a floor bed is completely been formed by the fissures and the magma which is shooting from the down of mantle, and this is how the sea floor is spreading. And here we goes, we are talking about plate tectonics, right? So there is a movement for the earth, and there is a movement for the crust itself. There is a movement for the crust, and there is a movement for the crust layer, because all the continents are floating upon the massive rock bases which are called as plates. That means what? It has a movement. So what kind of movements does we have? And we have two kinds of movements, which are slow movements and sudden movements. So this is about slow movements. Why? Because Earth's evolution, when the continents are getting framed up, oceans, mountains, plains, plateaus, and hills are framed up. Crust. Okay. Then, how about the speed movements or sudden movements? So here I am writing. So Earth, we have a slow movements and sudden movements. Slow movements and sudden movements. Because of the slow movements, the earth, the kind of changes in the lithosphere comes like very slow, like in the first order landform and second order landform. And the sudden movements are causing earthquakes and volcanoes. So when earthquakes occur, my voice is not clear. Am I audible now, Chandu? Am I audible, Chandu? Is my voice is clear now? Okay, when earthquakes occur, then what we are talking about the first living creature, lithosphere, means the land form. So how is land form getting shaped? How the oceans are shaped and placed in a present position, and mountains, plains, plateaus, how does mountains are raised, we have seen yesterday. Like I asked you to take a bedsheet or a small kerchief to push from the both sides, then you can observe some of the shapes which are upwards and downwards, then that topped shapes are mountains, and the low shapes are called valleys and basins. Later fill up with the rain and become oceans, rivers later. So these are okay. Means what? We are shaping the land. I mean, the shape of land we are discussing. How does the land shapes are getting shaped? And here, when earthquakes occur, you know very well what happens when the earthquakes occur. So the earth is going to be we ask, then it's going to be completely deposited, it's going to be completely filled up with the landslides. So means the earth shape, the lithosphere, the lithos is going to be changed, the landform shape is going to be changed. Okay, and volcanic eruption. So what kind of a changes does occur when volcanic eruptions were happened? What kind of a changes does occur when volcanic eruptions were occurred? So here we will see what kind of a changes does occurs when volcanic eruptions were occurred. So here is the volcanic eruption. So when volcanoes are completely places on the earth's surface where the molten material, so here you can see magma chamber where the molten material, then in that positions, in that places itself, the volcanoes are completely placed, and this molten material is there, no? So it is completely by the steam and smoke and lava which forms many gases in very depth of the earth, in the very depth of the earth. And when it spreads out, it completely pollutes the air because of the gases which are in and around, which are formed in the inside of volcano, but when these molten materials, when this molten material is shooting up, or else when it is erupting, so let me show you here. Just treat this as a volcanic tube, and here it is the earth. The earth surface is this one. Okay, and this is volcanic erupted. If we see the eruptions, so when there was a first eruption occurred, from the volcano, what happens? So then the lava completely shoots up, and it is in a hot molten liquid state. Then it will be like this. It will be going to spread, which is surrounding to that erupted volcanic chamber. Then you just observe, when this hot molten lava cools down, so what happens? It's going to become very hard. Then this is also going to change the landform. A new kind of a landform is going to be formed here. Okay, this is the first eruption. Then what about the second eruption? So when it comes to second eruption, from here, so already the ball state and land shape is completely changed. So when again a new eruption, a second time eruption, a very new eruption occurred, then just erupting everything from the magma chamber, and it is also going to be formed. It is also going to be changed the land shape. So when if we take only in case of volcanoes, volcanoes are also having some of the side vents. So these side vents are there now. So these side vents, they used to be the magma. When it is going to be erupted, the lava is going to be stay in those side vents itself, whether it is under the earth or else upon the earth, or else on the surface of the earth. So it's going to be stay in that side vent tubes itself. Then it is going to become a very harder one. Like if you could see, these are the first layers of the magma chamber, which is erupted lava. Okay, so when those first erupted lava and the which is completely cooled down material, when it becomes harder, then it is also composed like a harder surface. Then that surface is completely inside, and that lava, it does not reach the complete surface of the earth, and it is going to cool under the surface itself and going to become a rock like this one, like this. It's going to become a rock. Then that it is called as intrusive landforms. And one second time the lava erupted, so it's going to be erupt with the heavy force. Then the outside when outside the lava is erupted and formed and going to become the rocks then that kind of a landforms are known as exclusive landforms. Exclusive landforms. Intrusive landforms and exclusive landforms. Mostly, not all of the volcanoes are pour the fissures on the earth's surface, but most of the active volcanoes will pour these kind of fissures and lava on the top surface due to this sudden movement of earth. The lithosphere, the shape of land is going to be changed, and that is what our lesson is about. Lithosphere, how the shapes of how the continents were shaped, and how the continents were shaped just before we have discussed it, and how they are being fixed in a present position because of the plate tectonics theory. And later we have started discussing about this sudden movements among that earthquakes and volcanic eruption. So due to this, the land shape is going to be changed. And if you could see the Pacific Ocean, so this is Pacific Ocean, North America, North America, South America, Australia and Asia, Pacific Ocean. Okay, Pacific Ocean. Almost from many decades, the geological scientists are finding n number of earthquakes, n number of volcanical activities which are occurring around this Pacific rim. So this is called as Pacific Ring of Fire. Almost 3/4 of active volcanoes, every 4 volcanoes, the 3 volcanoes are presented here. In every 4 volcanoes, the plate tectonics theory is the reason for this. Why? Because of the move around the Pacific Ocean, the plates, the margin of so here we go. This is a Pacific Ocean. Okay, this one and here itself. And the movement of these plates causes what? These sudden movements. That's why many kind of active volcanoes are in the place of Pacific Ocean. So along these plate boundaries, that many of the volcanoes and earthquakes occur, which gives the name for these active volcanoes and the earthquakes, the Pacific Ring of Fire. Do you understand? The Pacific Ring of Fire. And next, external process. This is all we are discussing about the internal process itself. And there is one more important topic that we have to discuss about the external process. So we'll learn about this external process in the next live session. Hope you have all understood. Kindly ask now itself. So I'm going to give you a few, just 1 or 2 tasks, and comment your answers in the comment box. Okay. About our lesson itself, the natural rhythms of the earth. How many kinds of natural reliefs does Earth have? Okay, so you are going to comment that the natural reliefs, the 4 kinds of natural reliefs, and about them write separately. Okay, lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. And into how many different orders of a landforms does we have? So how many different orders that we have? How many different orders of a landforms that we have? So what are those? Write them. Okay. And write about the sea floor spreading. Write about sea floor spreading. Sea floor spreading. And write about the jigsaw puzzle or its plate tectonics theory. Write about plate tectonics theory. Okay, enough. 4 questions. The natural reliefs, write about the natural reliefs of the earth, and the second one is about the landforms. Third one is about plate tectonics theory, and write these healing features separately. Write about the healing features separately. Okay, so this is for today's slide. We learn another interesting topic in the next slide. Okay, we'll catch up in the next slide soon. Have a good day everyone. Bye bye guys.